In today's video, I'm going to show you guys a 98 watt solar panel for the hood of my F350 Super Duty. What's up everybody, welcome to Freely Roaming. My name is Dan. So I have 660 watts of solar on the roof of my four-wheel camper. And that goes to charge the battery that's built into the camper, which has been plenty for us. However, we have a secondary battery bank that is in the garage of our Bowen Customs flatbed. And that is a battery pack that's dedicated to supplying power to our Nomad CFX refrigerator that we use as a freezer in the garage, and also our Starlink Mini. That battery bank only charges over alternator when we drive. So if we stay put for a long time and not driving, that battery just continues to deplete. Now when we do drive, it charges quite quickly, but there are often times where we're staying put for anywhere from a week to 2 weeks, and that battery will get significantly lower than I like it to be. So I do want to put a permanent solar panel on it, because the only option we have right now is to use a ground deploy solar panel, which works and it's been fine for us. But I much prefer if there was sort of a out of sight, out of mind method for charging that battery up. The only space that I have available to put more solar panels is actually the hood of our truck, because our roof has an air conditioner, 6 solar panels already, and also a max air fan. And the roof of our truck has a front runner roof rack and also a storage box and some traction boards. So there's no space there for anything anymore. There are a few companies that make solar panels for the hood, and the one that I've chosen is one called Lensun Solar. They make hood solar panels for a variety of vehicles, and they happen to make one for this 5th generation for Super Duty. And it's a 98 watt panel. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how I install it, how it works. Unfortunately, this is the dead of winter right now in the middle of January, and we've also just had several weeks of rain. So we haven't been getting the most optimal conditions for solar charging, but I have it set up and it does work. We just have to wait till later in the spring or in the summertime to see how well it can actually work. But first things first, let me show you guys what this looks like and how to install it. Okay, here's the Lensun solar panel. This is the 98 watt Lensun solar hood panel that's made for our 2024 F350 Super Duty. And I'll show you how that sits on the vehicle. It'll sit something like that. But before you install it onto the hood, they do provide a piece of vinyl that you put on the hood first. And then you use double-sided tape underneath the solar panel, and you stick the panel onto the vinyl, which number one protects the paint of the hood, and also if you ever needed to remove it, it's much easier to remove than the super sticky 3M VHV tape that it will be used to install. But that's more or less how it will look once it's installed. And then you just kind of fish that wire under the hood around, and either if you're gonna connect the solar charge controller to charge the truck battery, or in my case, I'm gonna run the wire down, and then I'm gonna run a wire underneath the truck into this garage space, which we have batteries that power our Nomad CFX 5 fridge, and also our Starlink Mini that's sitting on top right there. So I wanted to be able to have a solar panel to do charging whenever the sun is out, because right now it only charges when the car is running. So this 98 watt panel is going to be doing all that heavy lifting to make sure that both of these devices continue to run without interruption. Okay, so let's just look at this panel. It is semi-flexible. It has this ETFE backing, which is what all modern semi-flexible solar panels are made of. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cells in each column, and there are 3 columns, which makes 24 cells. And each of these cells are connected to each other, probably in series, to provide high enough voltage to come out of these MC4 plugs. So we'll go ahead and measure to see what kind of voltage we're getting once I place this in full sun. And here, well, excuse this foam wrapper that's on the outside. Our cat has gotten into it. Fortunately, it didn't scratch the actual vinyl itself. Comes with instruction for installing the decal. You're going to want to install it using some soapy water and a squeegee. Also, needle or pin to be able to pop out any of the air bubbles that you can't get rid of. And also, once you got that installed, it also shows you what you need to do to install the solar panel on top of it. Just one page printed in color. All right, so I got my multimeter here, so let's go ahead and place this in the sun. We've got a serial number here, which I assume 2025 means the year of its production. 01, which is probably the month that it's made, and then 362 is maybe the 362nd panel that they made in January 25. And then let's see, in the back, what do we have? Silicon solar PV module, 98 watts, voltage, open circuit voltage, 32.85. Max system voltage 500 volts. Test condition, blah blah blah. Okay, let's see what kind of open circuit voltage we're getting. 32.34. That's what I'm getting. So 24 cells in series, and each cell is producing roughly between 1 and 1.5 volts. Connected in series gives you 32.27 volts. That seems about right. Everything seems to work. So I got a few things. Some blue tape, painter's tape, spray bottle with some soapy water in it, and a squeegee. And that's what you need to get this vinyl installed. So I'm going to unroll the vinyl just to see what we're dealing with here. It's been rolled up, so it's going to curl. You want to make sure you put the vinyl on the right way, because obviously this is not a rectangular piece. It is kind of a trapezoidal shape. If you want it to conform, or you want it to lay down correctly on the hood, so when you lay the solar panel down, it fits correctly. First of all, trying to get it to lay flat. That's a challenge. That side, that's this side. I'm just gonna let it sit like this for a little while so it can lay flat. This is the wider side, and that's a narrower side. So when it goes on the hood, it has to be flipped around. So this side will be facing the windshield, and that side will be facing the front bumper. So let this sit and let this kind of relax, and then we will come back, lay it down on the hood, and get it to stick. Okay, so it's kind of flattened out, so let's take it over to the hood and see how we're going to lay it down. The trick here is already clean the hood, get rid of whatever dust that might be here. I could probably do a little better, but you want to get it laid down so you know where it's going to sit, because You don't want it to be crooked. So get your tape measure, center it up, and then we're going to stick the vinyl down. But you're going to stick the vinyl down by using some soapy water down here and also on the underside of your vinyl so it doesn't stick right away. Give you some time to position it once it's actually down. So the key here is this soapy water, and get it all in there. It's not going to affect it from sticking later once it dries, but it will affect how you're able to line it up right now. Let's see here. Get this done so you can see. You'll be able to have a little bit of play in positioning because of that soapy water. Get it to line up just right. It also helps squeegee out some of that water that's in there. I feel pretty good about this. And then we'll go do the other side, the top. Squeegee from the inside out. Okay, so now what you want to do, once you have the vinyl down, is leave it alone, let it dry for about an hour. I may let it dry for a little bit longer because the sun is setting, so there won't be as much heat to evaporate the water. But it is the desert where we're at, so I think just the low humidity will help dry it out. So we'll come back in a couple hours and see how things go. In the meantime, what we can do is clean the back of the solar panel and stick our double-sided VHB on here so that it's ready to go on there when all of that has stuck firmly to the hood. So let's do that. Use that same soapy water. Just clean this bottom off. Okay, so the panel's clean. So you get the kit that also comes with the solar charge controller, which is a MPPT solar charge controller, but we're actually not going to use it because we're going to wire it into our other battery. But if we were going to use it, it's very easy because it comes pre-installed with MC4 connectors, which is what the panel has. But what you do need is VHB tape. It comes with two big rolls. We're just going to go ahead and lay them down right now. So there's a lot. I think people tend to overdo this stuff. So you don't actually have to put so much down to cover the entire thing. But you will want to do all the perimeter and maybe a few lines across the middle, which is what I'm going to do. Okay, so taking off all of the backing to the double-sided tape, getting ready to put it down. One of the things I did this morning is go through the vinyl to see if there's any air bubbles in it, and if there are, try to get it out or use a needle to pop the air bubbles. And what I noticed is that some of the air bubbles had moisture in it. That's because, if you remember, we were using soapy water to position the vinyl. So that soapy water, some of that soapy water could be left in there. So you want to make sure you pop all of that so that when it heats up, you don't get steam, which could push the vinyl away from the hood. So then, once I got it all popped, left it in the sun for a little bit to make sure that it continues to expose any moisture that might be in there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a dowel rod to position the panel so that I don't stick it all down before I'm ready. Get somebody to help you with this if you can. So I'm going to use the dowel to kind of space it so it doesn't stick down right away. Okay, bring the dowel closer to me. Okay. Oh, shit. That's what I'm trying to avoid. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna stick, once I stick the front down, as long as I line it up, it should be okay. Okay, I'm gonna go down with it. Okay, and we'll just roll the dowel back. Okay, put it on the very end. More of this will go down. That's pretty good. Okay, now we pull it out and stick the rest of it down. All right, that's down. If it's a little crooked, that's how it's going to be. And then what the instruction tells you to do is to put some weight on it. So you want to put a towel down and then put something heavy on the towel for about 5 hours while the double-sided tape cures. So that's what I'm going to do. Get a towel, stick it over it, and let it sit on there for the next 5 hours. All right, here it is. You can see the panel is on there. I got a bunch of bricks and tiles holding it down for the next few hours until the adhesive cures to the vinyl. And then we'll take it off, route the wires, and we should be done with this install. And for the next few hundred miles, we'll test to make sure that it is on there good. Okay, so this panel installed. I did about 30 miles yesterday and then sat overnight. No signs of lifting up, so that's good. So I'm just testing it to make sure that it's working. So I've got the wire connecting to my charge controller in the garage here. That's going into charge this battery, which is connected to a, you can see there's a light on. That's the Red Arc BCDC Alpha 50. And this battery powers our Starlink and the fridge. So my plan is to have the wire routed underneath the truck and then up into here. So let's just see. Very steep, pretty early in the morning. The sun is still low. Very steep sun coming in on the side. And also it's behind the truck, so we're not very efficient at the moment, but it is working. As you can see here, I'm getting 1 amp, 15 watts. So once we get more direct sunlight, this should definitely improve. But it's just good to know that it is working. So now I can finish up the wiring, get it all connected so it's charging. Alright, so that is how you install the Lensun 98 watt solar panel on the hood of your F350 Super Duty. And I've gotten about a couple thousand miles now, including a lot of highway miles on this solar. So what I make sure I want to do is I want to make sure that this leading edge of the panel doesn't get any wind blowing under it when I drive on the highways at highway speeds. So I will probably at some point lay down a bead of black silicone all the way around the edge so that air can't get underneath. But for now, after a couple thousand miles, it's working out pretty good. So there you go. That is the Lensun Solar 98 watt solar panel for 5th Gen F350 Super Duty. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. I will keep you guys updated on how this solar panel performs over time. Thanks as always for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.